right, man. Let's talk. Let's talk heavy. Um, for the most part, are the Detroit Pistons done in free agency? I mean, obviously they can use the trade exception for a full year. They don't have to go out there and get the trade exception, use it, or they don't have to use it at all. It can expire. Obviously, got a couple free agents out there. Marcus Smart just got picked up by the Lakers. He was a primary ball handler for the Celtics at one point, but I don't think he's the guy that you want to have a ball in a hand, at critical moments like that. But he's a veteran. I mean, he would fit with Detroit. Represents grit, defense, make timely shots. They let him go to the Lakers. I don't think he was a vocal point. But then you got that center from the Raptors, Boucher. You got a few guys out there, Malcolm Brogdon. Obviously, it can always be a trade. And apparently, like, we thought that Terry Rozier thing was over with, but it wasn't. And now they have documents. Suggesting that he bet the under on a couple of his games over like $30,000 or something like that. And like I said before, they're putting a lot of resources, into this, into gambling and all that. So they could have filed, they went up and beyond to find, Terry Rozier, betting or whatever. So we don't know what's going to happen with Malik Beasley, but Rozier was able to play. He still had a contract, so they couldn't get rid of him. So this can be a lot of something or, a lot of nothing. But you got to kind of remember, too, they want to make an example out of the first batch of people getting caught for this. So, you got to remember, OJ Mayo career got throughout over some, I think, drugs. And same thing with Tyreek Evans. His career threw over some drugs. So, betting, they trying to put the wham, wham, bam on you. But, greed is crazy. But are they finished is the question. And honestly, when I look at the roster, I mean, if I had to make a couple suggestions, they brought Paul Reed back, so getting the stretch five is probably a wrap. I believe they brought Paul Reed back as a ball handler, so that's the only thing I think they would lead. I felt like they needed another scorer. That's what I really felt like. They need somebody else that can get them a bucket off the bench. That's just what I felt. They needed a bucket getter. But then again, they're going to ride off of Karis LeVert, Kay Cunningham, Jay Ivey. They're going to help Asar and Ron Hollins develop. And that's fine by me. So they feel like they may have enough, but I think if anything is the critical thing that they're missing, it's just a point guard. It's a point guard, veteran guy. Take care of the ball, distribute. I feel like I know a lot of people don't like Chris Paul, and I like Brogdon. The injuries there. I've been one of them guys to help them out down the stretch. But Chris Paul has got a terrible reputation, you know what I'm saying? But you have to think of the point guard, and I think they're ready to rock. But if they trust Ivy to handle the ball as a backup, LeVert to handle it, the other kid, Denise, what's her name, Dennis Jenkins, in the G League or in the Summer League, or if they trust Marcus Sasser to do it, that's cool. But I just see like a guy like Brogdon will bring in a tremendous amount of experience, shooting, defense, toughness. He can protect the ball. So, but at the end of the day, you still got a trade exception, so you actually can, feel how you can feel things out. You can feel things out. So, you can be like, okay, let me see how it go first half of the season. Second half, right before the deadline, lose the exception, get your ball handler, or get whatever you need. So it makes sense where you're not really in a rush. You're not really in a rush to make a move that you really don't need to make. So, but yeah, I don't think it's a finished product. I think probably one more move, probably nothing major, probably a nice little point guard. But the way the Jenkins got playing, they might just go ahead and rock him, but let him rock out and get buckets. So But it seems like a lot of they guys are determined to turn a leaf and get better. That's what I like. A lot of these guys really, really want to get better. So they really want to get better. So, but honestly, I think a move will come. By the beginning of the season, probably so. They probably make a trade or a free agent pickup, and then be case closed. Be case closed until the trade deadline, and who knows? But yeah, I mean, right now, these players, these young guys, around 20 or somewhere early 20s, they pose to get better every year. That's their job. They pose to get better every year. That's the crazy thing about it. They pose to get better every year. So you supposed to be able to bank on them to make jumps. Give them opportunity, because start bringing too many guys in there, it kind of suffocates their ability to really grow as players. So you kind of got to let them play and trust that they're going to get better. And it's hard when you see a lot of these young guys today. They're more focused on being, social media influencers and superstars than ball players. So that's another crazy thing about it. So it's kind of hard to trust the process, but you got to give them the opportunity to do so. People look at, Charlotte with a lot of young pieces. They should take the Detroit Pistons blueprint. And that's, get a few veteran guys around them, more of a disciplinarian as a coach, and then go on from there. But that's what Detroit did. Got structure and a coach, got a few veterans to put around them, and then, they took off. Charlotte is like right there. Unfortunately for them, they tasted that play-in success and they regressed. So we didn't get to taste any success. So it's just like we hungry, And Trajan Langdon just pushed the right buttons. So when we continue to push the right button, sometimes the right button is not the pressure button at all. And unfortunately, one of the things he can kind of use as an excuse, that Beasley shit apparently took everybody out of left field. So he was a huge part of what they was going to do in the offseason, and a lot of people was mad, oh, don't bring him back because he played bad, and now him playing bad down the stretch got people thinking, oh, maybe he do really shave points. Maybe this dude really is shaving points. So, yeah, so, so you really got to watch. You really got to watch it. Really got to watch it. Sometimes some short-term pleasure decisions that you make is a lifetime of damage. That's the sad shit about it. Them short-term pleasurable decisions that we make can cause a lifetime of damage. So, yeah, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.